Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this webinar, using your hotel website to tap into guests' emotions. My name is Lyles Armour. I'm with Restream. I'll be your host today. And this is a special webinar as we are joined with Maxie from Ingrain, and she'll be doing a nice demo of their interactive maps a little bit later on. Real quick here, just a couple housekeeping items. The webinar is recorded. We will be emailing out a copy of the webinar following the presentation here today. And then if you guys did have any immediate questions, you are more than welcome to ask those in the chat box. We will do our best to answer all of those questions towards the end of the webinar, just to make sure we have a chance to cover the materials. Again, if you're having issues hearing me, now's the time to speak up. If you're having issues viewing my screen, again, please speak now, or what is it, forever hold your peace or something like that. Okay, all right. About Restream here. So again, my name is Lyles. I'll be the host today. I work at Restream. For those who don't know, Restream provides a suite of lodging solutions. It's a personalized experience that we provide, and ultimately what we want to do is help you be there with your guests throughout the entire buying journey. So from the minute they search online, through their booking process, and at the point that they're staying at your property, how you manage the guests, we provide the right set of tools, solutions, and the support with our staff to really help you grow your revenue and simplify your operations. The agenda for our webinar, you guys obviously saw that in the email, but real quick here, we're going to take a quick look at the 4 emotions that we want to be mindful of whenever we're engaging on our websites, building out plans to improve our websites. We're going to then talk about personalization, when you use it, where you use it, how you use it. We'll review some tools that you guys can take advantage of now to really help you with your guest interactions and engagement online. A couple of items in social media to really help you continue to grow followers, or at least keep the existing readers, subscribers happy. And then the best part of all is the demo. So we'll slot a lot of time here to really allow for a Maxi to walk through their interactive property map that really will help that experience online for guests to see themselves at your property. So real quick here, the 4 basic emotions, and we all probably experience these. Hopefully the happy ones are more frequent than the rest. But for us, we want to be mindful whenever we're building out a marketing plan, building out our websites, thinking about services and tools to integrate. How are these things really going to play a role in the different emotions that a guest is going to feel over time? So when it comes to happiness, it really is about, did we meet the expectations of our guests? This can be seen in a variety of different ways, but was the room available? Was the room available at the rate that they wanted? Did they have a positive experience online, interacting with your website? How was the booking process? Was it smooth? Was it seamless? Was it easy to use, easy to navigate, simplified? Was the guest able to see themselves at the property? So did you offer quality content, photos, videos, or especially interactive maps to really get them to drive home the point, what it looks like to feel and to be there? Did you offer any type of resources to really help them, again, feel comfortable about your property, the area, and the things that they could do around you? So whether it's resource guides or event calendars, a blog, or some type of social proof, what did you do to really, provide that positive reinforcement? The second motion that we have here is sadness. What turns a guest off? This can probably also be the anger, but what we think about here is maybe everything worked out, but your rates just weren't competitive. Maybe they loved the location, they loved the stay, they liked the different amenities that you had to offer, but the guy across the street had a little bit more competitive of a rate. So they were just sad that they couldn't move forward with you. Maybe your cancellation policies are still a little bit outdated. 2020 and COVID taught us a lot about just making sure that we continue to put the guests first, continue to give them comfort and peace of mind that we want to earn and take their business, but that they can trust that we'll keep them safe. Maybe you did not provide the right benefits for why they should book direct with you. They just didn't understand why they should book here versus move on to an OTA. And maybe your booking process again just wasn't up to snuff. Bear in mind, they're looking at other websites, comparing you against other properties, and any friction that they see is going to be something that can turn them off. In turning them off, that generally leads to this third emotion, which is the anger. Why are they leaving? This anger can set in well before they even make it to your website. And that type of anger is usually what you guys feel as a hotel operator, and that being they can't find your hotel online. So you've got a great staff, you've got a great location, great service, but you are not ranking well in the search engines for the different things people are searching for. So in that whole mindset, they just can't find you. What they want is a great location, a great stay. You offer that, it angers them that they're unable to find you. Maybe you don't offer a booking platform. Believe it or not, we still run into this to this day, where people still have forms on their website where people cannot see real-time availability. They're essentially submitting an RFP and then waiting for the staff to get back to them. And then for those people who do have platforms in place, they leave it at that and they really don't evaluate how well that platform is for the end user. So there could be too many steps involved and they end up just bouncing out and leaving. It could take too long to get from one step to the other. It might be hard to use to find available rooms, to look at the description, see the different availability and rates that are involved. All of those things can create some type of anger. Same thing goes for your website. We've all been there. The website doesn't load quick enough, so we just leave. Maybe when the website does load, as we navigate around, we can't get to the content that we need to make the decisions that we want to either buy or sign up for a newsletter or read the blog. So those are definitely things we want to pay attention to. And the last one here that I'll say is they just think that they may have a better rate on OTAs. So they just essentially get up and leave thinking that if I go to Expedia, I'll be able to save myself a little bit of money. They're not really thinking about you at that point because that's costing you some money. So you definitely want to make sure that you're optimizing to share what those direct booking benefits are, why they should book here and not leave your website. And then the last emotion is fear. And the way that we want you guys to look at this is what are you guys kind of doing to really provide them with that fear of missing out? If they don't book with you right now, they're going to lose out on an opportunity. So things to think about there is making sure you're providing the best rate guarantee, whether you have a banner on your website or a banner with a landing page that clearly explains this is the best rate and why. That definitely goes a long ways and make sure they understand, hey, I don't want to leave and go somewhere else. Making sure that maybe you have a package in place or some type of community connection that they can only get from you. So while other locations are going to be in the same vicinity of maybe activities, you might have a special package or a special bond and connection with the vendor across the street that really makes it unique for you. So you want to make sure you communicate that very clearly. And then it could also just be you guys offer, more compelling services and amenities, or that you're more current with what is going on in the area. So as soon as events start opening up, you're blogging about it, you have calendars in place, you're really making sure that they feel this is the place to be. They know what's going on in the area. We're going to have a good time. So those are the emotions that think that you should be thinking about as you guys move forward with your website, building out your marketing channels, and how you incorporate some of the different things that we'll be talking about through the course of the webinar here. The next section is personalization. So when, where, and how. To start off with, when and where, as I was kind of pulling my research together and experiences that we've had with our clients, they more or less overlap. When you use it is going to be the exact location of where you use it. So if you're on the phone calls or you're in person with the guest, if you can remember their name, great. Maybe you don't remember their name, but you remember a specific room that they liked. You remembered an anniversary date, maybe their child's, maybe the reason that they stayed. Whatever you can do to connect you with them on an individual one-on-one level is going to provide that personal experience. Other areas you can do it or use it would be in booking engine abandonment campaigns, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But whether you're saying, hey, Maxi, thank you for reaching out to us. You did not complete your reservation. Here's a little push and a nudge to move you forward. Or it could be another advanced technique, as you know exactly what room they were interested in that they did not complete the reservation, and you reach out to them about that. Hey, we saw that you looked at the king room. You did not complete your reservation. Could we upgrade you to the king suite at a reduced rate if we get that reservation in before the end of the week? So different techniques, different ways to think about personalization and how you can use it. Managing your guest reservations is another way. So now that a guest is staying at your property, you have an opportunity to collect information about them. So you want to make sure you have a system, a property management system that allows you to tag or flag a guest or a reservation that's unique to them. So you might have a VIP guest, you might have a guest who has allergic reactions you want to pay attention to. You may have guests that have come for a specific event in the area. The more you do about tagging and flagging those guests, the better you can be about personalizing the experience when you interact with them while they're on site, or also how you communicate them in any type of emails that you may send out as you know what their specific interests are. Other items on there just to think about is segmenting your list, kind of touched on that for your email blast. And then also thinking about your SEO and your marketing team, making sure that they are targeting the right type of terms in the area that people are searching for. That's going to drive traffic to your website. SEO may not seem like a personalized thing because it is casting a wider net, but again, it is about getting quality over quantity. The more qualified your traffic is, the greater your conversions, the more bookings you will see. And then the next slide I have here kind of shares two graphics of how you can go about collecting different data to use for personalization. So on the left-hand side, these are different ways in which you can think about how to use personalization. So is it based off of the location you are in? Is it based off of the technology that the user is using, a cell phone over a desktop device? Generally, people on mobile might be on the go when they're looking for a hotel. So an offer might be a little bit different. How you communicate to them might be different than somebody on the desktop. You also can look at things based off of time. How long were they on your website? What pages did they visit on your website? Those are different things that you can leverage if you're following your analytics to really say, we have a lot of people that engage on our King Suite page. We need to start to add some personalization to that page to really create that experience to get them to book with us. And on the right-hand side, this talks about the different types of the different types of personalization tools or services that you can look for to really help create that personalized touch. Dynamic content is a really nice one because if used correctly, when somebody lands onto your website, especially those repeat guests, you can say, hey, Lyles, welcome back to the family resort. That in itself alone creates that personal touch that, hey, they remember me, they're welcoming me back. Let me start this off on a positive light and jump into the booking engine. Who knows? But dynamic content can be used in those methods there. It might also be used in ways based off of interactions on the website. So if people are clicking on certain pages, visiting certain blogs, when they come back to your website, or as they continue to progress in that buying journey, you can use dynamic content based off those actions to serve unique messages tailored just for them. Another one is pop-up and overlays. That is a really big one that I saw or we saw kind of blow up with COVID. Everyone wanted to make sure that they got in front of their guests. Here's what we're doing safety-wise. Here's our COVID procedures. Here's our safety measures. Here's our cancellation policies. Everyone jumped on board with pop-ups when it came to that. Don't overlook pop-ups when it comes to just the overall business and how you interact with them with other content resources that you have on your website. We'll touch on a lot of the different types as we jump into the engagement tools, which is where we're headed next. So the first engagement tool that I'll touch on here is pop-ups. 70% of visitors are going to potentially leave your website and never come back, right? So the whole goal here with pop-ups is one, maybe it's informative. They make it to your website. You want to immediately let them know, hey, here's our COVID safety measures. Here's our policies on cancellations. Get that in front of them right now to get that friction out of the way. Another way pop-ups are used is when people are about to leave your website. That is generally known as exit intent technology, but it is whenever they show an action of closing the browser, leaving the tab that they have open that's for your website, you can do different things to pop up a message. So this particular message that we have here is on one of our clients' booking engines. Nice, clever place to put it. Somebody is getting ready to jump out of their booking engine and we have a nice graphic here. Hey, wait, don't go. In that graphic, we're doing what we can to provide some type of incentive, a clear call to action. And as you can see in this type of campaign, they were able to generate a 29% conversion rate. So that generally would mean is 28% of those people went right back to the booking engine using that promo code and either continued their search to see what that would provide them as far as availability and rates. And then hopefully they just completed that entire booking. A couple more examples of pop-ups here. On the left-hand side, we have a homepage of a website. On the right-hand side, we have looks like a detail page of a specials. So in these cases here, different ways in which people are going to be kind of interacting. Somebody just came to the website and somebody else has already navigated through the website several different times. And they're, potentially thinking about, do I book or do I go look at a competitor? As you can see on the left-hand side with the pop-up, this particular pop-up is actually showcasing, hey, we have a new interactive property map. So the minute somebody hits the website here, they're already communicating, hey, we've got a really nice way for you to engage with our property, to really see yourself here, see the different locations of the cabins that we have, how that is within the property, the space that you'll have, all those different type of things. So they were able to generate an 8% click-through rate on getting people to that activity map to start, again, a really positive, refreshing interaction with their brand. The pop-up on the right-hand side is, again, an exit pop-out. This person was on that specials page and for whatever reason decided they wanted to move out or move forward, leave the website. We presented them with a pop-up here with the 15% off if they book direct. So a couple things we're doing here is number one, we're using the pop-up tools. And then number two, we're reminding them of benefits of booking direct. In this case, the benefit is you get to save a discount or get a discount. In other cases, your benefits could be amenities that you have. You might have a loyalty program so you can give them more points. You might also upgrade their room if they book with you in a certain time. And again, as you can see with this particular pop-up, they generated, 14% click-through rate. Both of those pop-ups are getting people to a desired destination that, a brand marketer wants to have. I want somebody to see themselves at the property, go visit that interactive map, or hey, they're getting ready to leave. I want to get them into my booking engine before they go because clearly they saw some value. They were looking into a special. Let's see if we can close the deal. The next engagement tool that we really like to use at Restream here is booking engine abandonment campaigns. So these campaigns are essentially a series of emails that go out to users after they leave your booking engine. So the scenario would be is they do a search in Google, they find your website, they visit your website, they search around, look at your specials, your activities, they find a room that they're interested in, they jump into the booking engine, and we've all been there. You add it to your shopping cart, you start to book that process, and then you leave. You either went back to work, which is what you should have been doing in the first place. Some kids ran into the room and you had to take care of that, or whatever the case may be. You got distracted and you had to step away. With this booking engine abandonment technology, we're able to capture those users who started that process And then now we can send them a series of emails down the road to encourage and to entice them to, come back to our website and book at our location. So you can see here in this particular client's example, they recovered over $4,000 worth of revenue over a 12-month period. And there was a total of 743 emails that the system generated automatically behind the scenes that drove that business for them. So again, taking advantage of every opportunity with the guest, making sure that we see it all the way through. Just to kind of show you guys a little bit of what that looks like from a booking engine abandonment standpoint, this is a screenshot of the flow of the series of emails that we're sending out. These emails can be built however you want. So as you can see on the right-hand side, there's a variety of different types of emails that you can use when you're pushing out these abandonment emails. Maybe it's a supportive nudge, just a quick reminder, hey, we saw you jump in here, you didn't complete it. Here's a book now button to jump back in. Maybe you want that personalized touch to where, again, you communicate, we saw you looking at the King Suite room. For whatever reasons, you jumped out of here. Let me not only upgrade you, but let me give you a discount if you book before the end of the week. You have some other ones that maybe are a little bit lower value, but a lot of value depending on the type of audience you serve. One might be social proof. Reach out to them and show them how excited people are about staying at your property through different social screenshots, social engagements, different things that you may do on your social channel that builds that interest. So however you choose to create those emails, what type of content, what type of offer, what type of incentives you want to have, using this technology, you're able to pretty much set it and forget it, put those campaigns in place, let them run their course, analyze, review the data, and make the appropriate changes as you see fit. The next example here is A/B testing. This is we use Google Optimize. That is a free tool that I would recommend anybody to take advantage of now or share with your marketing team. The Google Optimize tool allows us to do a variety of different A/B testing. So from your standpoint, if you're going to use this type of A/B testing, it's really nice if you have paid ads going in place. You can set up a unique message for an A/B test and see what the difference is. Is it a special offer that was the reason why they booked? Was it the unit that you were maybe selling? Was it the fact that you had a package or an offering? There's different things that you can test, whether it's just the layout of the page. Maybe the form was in the wrong location. Maybe the call to action wasn't bold enough. So with this A/B testing tool through Google, you can pretty much identify and target any page on your website and make, WYSIWYG editor changes in real time to either messaging on the page, layout of the page, and then you can do advanced things as far as targeting people on the page. So something that you may want to do as an example is a repeat visitor of your website might have a different landing page than somebody who's new to your website. If they're a repeat visitor, again, chances are they already have started that research into staying at your property. Now, what can we do to continue in that journey? If we've done enough early on to collect data on that user and some of the things that we talked about in personalization, then we know how to set up our A/B tests for those repeat visitors or visitors of certain pages of our websites to make sure that the messaging is compelling for them. So this tool is something that, again, it's through Google, it's for free. It allows you to adjust layouts, content, images, messages. It can be used anywhere and however you like to really kind of give yourself a way to, improve performance or again, provide different experiences for different users. Another one here is live chats. So this again is something that continues to grow over time. It is the ability to create that personalized touch, that personal experience before they even book with you right there from your website. So 41% of customers are actually expecting that you have some type of live chat tool in place. And as you can see here in this graphic that Live chat is grown. It continues to grow, and it actually takes over when it comes to people's desired methods for kind of getting in contact or communicating with the people that they are trying to get a hold of. So they're more likely to go back to your website and go to your chat tool than they are to send you an email, because now they have to give you their email, and now they think they might get spammed or marketed. And the same thing with social media. They might see or feel like they have to follow you in order to engage with you, and they may have some simple questions. So that live chat tool really gives you a way to create that personalized experience and get ahead of any type of questions or friction that they may think they may encounter moving forward with you. The other part of the live chats is just really the expectations that they have. The expectation as far as response time, they know, they feel, and you know, if you have a chat tool, you really need to be on it, right? So if somebody reaches out to you with the hello, you can't wait 20, 30 minutes, because chances are they will no longer be on your website. So it does, again, two things. It provides immediate gratification for users and visitors of your website to immediately get questions answered, whether it's about rates or availability or activities in the area, or even how to maybe book online with you. Those chat tools go a long way to help you out with that. And then again, as you can see, as you go through social media or email, the assumption is it's going to take longer for you to get back to me, as those interactions aren't as high in demand there. A couple more here. Excuse me, one last thing here is the contactless check-in as it relates to the engagement tools. Again, this is another opportunity for you to, expedite and be more efficient in your process when it comes to checking people in. But this technology also allows you to get the right information to the guests and make sure that they have access to it. So prior to COVID in 2015, 60% of guests were actually saying that they would be more inclined to, move forward with a property that had that check-in process. And then obviously COVID really forced everyone's hand. You almost had to have some type of contactless technology in place. To now we're at the point where 70% or more either have it or have plans to add contactless check-in methods to their booking process. So all of those different engagement tools, again, they bring you closer to your guests. They help you create ways in which you can be personalized if you collect the data correctly. That way you can really maximize their experience online. Okay, guys, a couple more slides here of social media, and then we will be jumping into that demo with the interactive map. So I appreciate you guys hanging tight. I know that's the real reason you're here. But again, looking at social media, what we want to do here is talk about ways you can grow your followers and continue to entertain those that you currently have. So one of the clever ways that you should think about is using quizzes. These quizzes or questionnaires are a really quick way for you to engage what your audience is thinking, maybe things that you should consider adding to your offering. It's a very good, clever way to just stay engaged, stay in front of them, show them that you care about their feedback as they are followers of your channel, your groups, your threads there. So when it comes to creating a social media quiz, straightforward, you want to have a clear objective, know exactly what this quiz is intended to do. At the end of the day, when you get the data, what will you do with it? So just make sure that you have a very clear objective in mind. Pick the right type of quiz that's good for you or for your goals. There are educational quizzes that are really about educating them on the area, your service offering. These are generally non-salesy. You're just communicating things that you know. Maybe it's a vendor that you're working with that you partnered with. Maybe you just remodeled. Maybe you have a new attraction that's coming to the area locally in your city. You just want to be very clear in that. You might have one that's more e-commerce shopping based. This is where you're really just going to be promoting your rooms, maybe the amenities, the advantages of booking with you, maybe some of the services that you have to offer. There's also the knowledge ones, which is similar to educational. This one is more about you trying to get information from them, whereas the educational is you sharing information. So whether you're asking questions about certain type of amenities that they would be interested in upgrading for, certain type of package bundles that they would, be more interested in purchasing, or maybe some of those cancellation policies or contactless processes, ask them, get their feedback, and you know exactly how to implement that at your property. And the last one is the personality, just trying again to learn about them. So you can ask them a question. If you were to stay at a hotel, would you prefer to do A or B? So again, you asking them something specific about your hotel and then giving them some options lets you again understand the experience you need to deliver and how you can personalize that message. Once you've done that and picked your quiz, you want to post it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, however many channels you have, post them out there. Get that information out in front of as many visitors and users that you can. Make sure that you try and promote them to share, and share that content with their followers as well. The fourth thing you'll do is analyze the data and share the results. The most effective quizzes are those that share the information with those who took the quiz. It's just a way to circle back and say, hey, appreciate your feedback and your response. Here's what other people have to say about the same topic. Again, just to create some dialogue. When you do share your results, you can do things about trying to get more questions from those results, making sure you get people to comment and provide any, follow-up or feedback to clarify their stance on things. Again, goes a long way in your ability to personalize your offering. And then the last one is do your follow-up. Make sure you reach out and thank them for taking that survey. Another item here on social media is the retargeting campaigns. So as you can see in the graphic here, retargeting is essentially what it sounds like. Somebody's made it to your website. They left your website. Hopefully you had some pop-up opportunities to entice them to give you their email or jump back into their booking engine. Let's assume that they did not do anything like that. Well, now you have a team who's created some remarketing ads for you, and then they are able to position those ads on social media. So now when somebody leaves your website, it happens to me all the time, and I hate it, but I love it. I will go on a website and then I'll like, you know what, I don't want this. And now it's all over social media. It's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, and I can't get away from it. So I end up buying it. And then I talk to my wife about it later. But nonetheless, that is a very unique tactic. And again, making sure that you stay in front of them, you're engaged with them. And if you know exactly how they got to you, your retargeting campaigns and messages will be personalized to continue them along that journey of hopefully booking directly with you at your property. You can see some stats here, but over 2 hours and 24 minutes is how much time somebody spends on social media a day. So if you had some type of retargeting in place, just imagine how much more exposure you would have to your brand, to your hotel, to drive more reservations, and ultimately more bookings. And then the last one here that I want to talk about is just kind of going over some social media tips for engagement. So we talked about live chats on your website. You should be doing the same thing on your social media channels. Again, they're just expecting that you are going to be responsive or more responsive there. It is a social network, so using your chat is being social. You want to respond to all comments. So good, bad, or indifferent, engage. Let people know that you care about their feedback, their comments, and that you are willing to respond and communicate and show that you are a real person. If you can, start a Facebook group. Give people a reason to come back. Maybe it's weddings venues in the area. Maybe it's an annual event that takes place in your area that you continuously promote. Create a group, get followers, create your ads, push content, and then drive them to your website. That way, that time when that event rolls around that year, they're booking with you directly. Run your quizzes, give your giveaways, do all of those different things to continue to stay engaged, and then make sure that your content is relevant, whether things are going on in the time of the year or just about your property specifically. So that is what I wanted to cover as it relates to personalizing your website, trying to maximize that for improving that guest experience. What I really want to touch on now that I'm excited for is really getting into that property map. So Maxie, I'm going to hand it floor over to you and let you talk about Ingrain and your property map there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lyles. Appreciate it. Great presentation. I actually learned a lot myself. So, well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Maxie Lieberman, and I am a national account executive with Ingrain, and I handle the hospitality market. And the reason that I handled the hospitality market is that I have extensive experience within the hospitality market. Prior to, coming over to Ingrain, I have opened hotels. I've been in off-premise catering, and in the last 5 years or so prior to coming over to Ingrain, I worked in destination management, so booking hotels, resorts, for clients. So I have a huge place in my heart for hospitality. And so when I came to Ingrain, I was brought on to be our, resident hospitality expert and just really start this great opportunity to take our mapping tools, our mapping technology to hotels, resorts, cabins, whatever it may be. So a little history on Ingrain. Ingrain started over 20 years ago in the multifamily industry space, and we started creating these really unique and interesting property maps. And what we found, and actually to kind of, piggyback off of some of the things that Lyle shared was, when you have our interactive map that I'll be showing you here in a moment on your website, it's chock full of content in that embed link that lives directly in line on your website, but that also helps boost your SEO because Google rewards content. So that's fantastic. And there's a number of other ways that we can tie back in all of those amazing tips that you just shared with the map as well. So I'm really looking forward to the opportunity of, diving deeper into it. The product is really, really cost effective and high impact. And I know, budgets have been tight with COVID and things like that. But it's very affordable and, dare I say cheap. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Lyles, it says that I cannot share my screen while you're sharing. So if I may grab the screen.
Stop sharing, all yours.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we've come to our beautiful Asheville Cabins of Willow Winds page here. And on the main website, there's the opportunity to click on the property map. And so it comes directly to this map. And this is sitemap, okay? So the first thing, I'm a guest and I've come to the website because I'm going to start planning my awesome family vacation. And you're able to filter down exactly what it is important to you in your next vacation or meeting, event, whatever it may be. I have 3 beautiful fur babies at home, so I love this pet-friendly option. So I'm able to really narrow down specifically to what it is that I'm interested in, okay? Now, these filters are customizable, so if there's something else that you want to highlight, maybe it's a view or, a specific thing that really jumps out for that guest room, we can add that as well, okay? So I'm going to reset this just to show you because the whole map itself is interactive. So by hovering over any of these guest cabins, you're able to get a quick snapshot of what that cabin has to offer. You can hover over here, or you can come over here on the right-hand side to that list view, and it's going to highlight that cabin for you in a different color so you can see which one you're interacting with. I can jump into any of the cabins or rooms. And one of my favorite features is the ability to share. So maybe I'm talking to my mom about our family reunion via text or email. I can share this specific cabin and it'll take away the rest of the availability. So my mom is able to focus in directly on Tony's treasure. You can jump in and still have that full capability of the sitemap here in that share feature. This is also great as if you're a, reservation specialist, or maybe you do groups, you're able to share this specific guest room with that potential guest or client to get them excited and get that booking process moving. Down here, we have our calls to action, and these are completely customizable. So when Lyles was talking about that live chat and how that's going to keep people on your website, just know that if that live chat has a URL link, we can include that here as well. You have the ability, like I mentioned, to really add anything. So this here, learn more, takes you back to the Tony's Treasure website. Contact us, going to open up that email. Of course, that link out to booking now. We want them to be able to book right from the website and not OTA. And then we're able to host any sort of virtual tours that you may have. It can be a MP4, a video, Vimeo, YouTube. If you work with any Matterports or really any virtual tour provider, we can include that in the map. So now you're really able to build that vision of what it's going to be like to have your next vacation at Asheville Cabins, Willow Winds. Jumping back to the map. Oh, got lost here for a moment. I apologize. I want to show you a couple of different maps that we have. So you can see here, this is a little bit of a larger resort, but what you'll notice is that, again, everything is interactive. And so this resort has a number of different amenities, different meeting spaces, and they're all interactive. By jumping into the pool very quickly, you can, some of those additional link outs that we can have, request an RFP. If you have any catering menus, we can sync up your social media. So another great opportunity to get people on your social media. And then at the bottom of any of our amenities and or guest rooms, we're able to host up to 4 tabs. Okay. And I'm going to go back here to Willow Winds, because my computer decided to lock me out. So coming back to that property map just directly here, we're also able to add any sort of additional information that lives within the property. So we chose to add the different, parkways, some of the different trails that may be. And then, of course, again, any sort of amenities, we're able to have photos. We're also able to do any videos or virtual tour integration here as well. And just going over a couple of more here, you can see there's just some, differences and what you're able to offer here. Now, this is the actual meeting rooms and restaurants and amenities pages, but we're also able to have any of the guest rooms interactive. So if you have more of a resort style or cabin style, or you have more of a hotel style, we're able to handle any of that. You'll notice here on the backdrop, so of the map that I previously showed you of cabins at Willow Winds, and this Marriott example here, is that we can also draw for you these custom maps, the backdrop. So we can work with any sort of top-down map that you have if you'd like to use that as a backdrop, or we can draw these for you and add, some of that additional landscaping, pop and pizzazz, so it really jumps off your website. This is what we call our 3D marketing backdrop. Another property, just going to show you a couple of different examples here and ways that, you're able to kind of have your map. So of course, the Atlantic Ocean is just right across the street. This is great because a lot of their guests have a hard time understanding in relation to the beach to where the property is. And there is, in fact, a street and some parking. And so we really wanted to add that additional context so they can see it is beachfront. However, you have to walk across the street. Again, any digital content that you have, we want to include and really, gain that experience for them of what it's going to be like to stay at this particular property. Again, those calls to actions are customizable here. And so really, we're going to work with you on that best user experience. Okay. Now, one of my favorite things about the map is, of course, we're looking at this map on my desktop, but all of our maps are mobile friendly. So they shrink down beautifully to that mobile size. You still have the ability to jump into any of the units, see all the photos, and have all those call to actions. Now, another great opportunity here with that contactless check-in is this is phenomenal because you could send this out in your contactless check-in. So it could say, here's a link to your room. And by that share feature that I showed you, you're able to send them that exact space. And so they can get there and navigate very easily to their specific guest cabin or room when they come on the property. And not only are they able to see that, use the map statically, well, it's not static because it's interactive, but to wayfind, we also created a new feature, which we call our georeferencing. And so if you choose to georeference your map, and you don't have to, this is just an additional add-on, you can have your map geo-accurate to Google. And when your now guest comes on property and they click on your interactive map on the website, we're going to drop a blue dot on top of them, much like in Google Maps. So it's going to follow their location in real time. So if you're looking to navigate to the pool, by looking at this map, you're going to have to take a left and then a right. This is also great for maybe a guest wants to order pizza to their room. Instead of it having to go to, the front desk or, the main lodge, they're able to send that location of their unit. And so that driver is able to come right to them. I love this because I'm always constantly ordering in when I'm staying in hotels. And so this just makes everybody's life a little bit easier. This is also great for on property for you. Maybe you have some offsite maintenance that comes in to work on a specialty project and you don't have someone on site to show them that specific guest room. You can send that location again via that share feature, and they can open up the map and follow the, look at the map and see where they are in real time. I love this feature. It's very helpful. And especially, if it's a more spread out property and you have, ride share services that are going to come in, they're able to pick you up directly from your guest room as well. Now I have one more map to show you, and it is currently not in, it's not ready to go at this moment, but I just want to kind of show you some of these different examples of how your maps could look. Now, this is another map. It's right on the lake. And like I said, it is not live yet. So some of the interactivity has not been added for the amenities, but they have a lodge and a couple restaurants and, the creek and parking and things of that nature. So we really wanted to hone in on all of the different amenities. And so I'll be sharing this out to the Restream team once this goes live. But you can see here again, any of these are interactive photos. And again, you can have up to 4 photos at the bottom. So it's a really fantastic opportunity to build the story of what it's going to be like to have your vacation at your property. Keep them engaged on your website longer. We've seen a 40 to 60% increase in website engagement after the map has been added, ultimately leading to more conversions and in reservations. So it not only does it add a lot of pop, color, pizzazz, it creates that atmosphere of storytelling, the wayfinding opportunity, and then of course those conversions. That's what we all want, right? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those questions for you.
Oh, Maxie, thank you very much for going over that presentation. I wish you guys, how long has you guys been around again?
We have been around for over 20 years, but in the hospitality market, when I was hired on a year ago, that is when we really started to deep dive into it because, with any great company, you've got to love people that say, we don't understand hospitality, so we're not going to take it to market yet. And then when they hired me on, they said, okay, she understands hospitality. We're now ready to take this to market.
Awesome. Well, you guys definitely have a solution. I know a lot of our current clients and prospects that we've spoken with would value and appreciate, and it would definitely go a long way in improving the time on site, the engagement, and overall conversion rate. So that's awesome to see. Does anyone have any questions, whether it be for the presentation as a whole or more specifically the sitemap solution? I don't see any questions. Let me double check. No questions. Okay, Maxi, I appreciate you joining us today. A reminder again for everyone, this webinar is recorded. Once it's recorded, we will post it on our website and we will email a copy out to everyone. Should you guys have any questions, let us know. Maxi, what's the best way to reach out to you directly?
Yeah, thank you. The best way to reach out to me directly is via my email, which in that follow-up information, Lyles will include that. Phone call or email away. I would love to show you a quote, send you some of these examples, and really help out with all the amazing things that RezStream has to offer for your websites already. And the opportunity to just keep those conversions coming.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, and everyone in your attendance here. Appreciate you guys as well. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you guys again on the next Restream webinar. Bye-bye.